Hey guys, George at SoundTraxx here with another workbench tip. And today we're going to talk about adding LEDs to the Kato light pipes that you'll see in many Kato HO models. One of the things that they do is they have their LEDs mounted to the circuit board, and then when the shell is placed, the LED lines up pretty close to the front of this light pipe, and then that transmits the light from the circuit board to the front of the locomotive. Now what I'm going to show you today is a way that you can eliminate that and have much better lighting, but also make your installation a little easier. So first thing what we're going to do is we're just going to take a standard LED, and this is an LED that I've taken a 1000 ohm resistor, soldered it to the negative lead here, and then we have the blue wire. Now this is just for representation. The wires would obviously want to run from there to your decoder. And we just have a couple of standard Kato light pipes here. Now the first one here, you can see that I have a small piece of our shrink tubing, part number 810037. Now the shrink tubing is perfect to fit the LED. The LED fits in there just nice. But what happens is it's a little tight on here. Now first off, let me explain what we're doing. What we're going to do is we're going to mount the LED to the light pipe just like this. But we're going to slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over it, and we're going to shrink it down so that way it will hold the LED in place, just like that. But as I mentioned, this piece of shrink tubing is too big. This piece of shrink tubing is too small to fit over that pipe. So what we can do is we can actually trim the sides of this a little bit better, like I've done on this one, where the sides now narrow down. Now I can take this piece of shrink tubing and slide it over. So next what we're going to do is we're going to find where that happy end is. Now this is where the LED would fit, about right there. So when we cut our piece of shrink tubing, we're going to cut it just behind the LED, so that way we've got enough of the shrink tubing to hold it in place. So now what we're going to do is we're going to insert our LED into the shrink tubing. And now this will help line up with the light pipe to make sure that that light is shining into the light. It also acts as a shield so that you don't have any light coming out. And the good news is, if for any reason you need to remove this LED, you can simply cut the shrink tubing and pull it out. But because we're just experimenting here, we're going to play. Now that's pretty good and tight. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our soldering iron, and we're going to go ahead and melt the shrink tubing here and heat it and shrink it up. So you can kind of see how that's starting to grip the LED and the light pipe and holding it in place. Now again, when you take your measurements, you can make sure that the piece of heat shrink tubing you're using is going to make sure that that LED is pressed right up against it. So now you can see that we have our light pipe, and then we have our LED. That's not going anywhere. So now we can take our light pipe, install it into the model, and then we can take our wires to the LED and install them to the decoder. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you. Another tip from the workbench. Please be sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and our newsletter. We've got a lot of great, exciting updates that we've got coming out in the near future, so be sure to subscribe so you can get those notifications. Thank you.